So we're on video number 3, and in this video I will go through and mount the pages. There won't be, any decorating. Then we will go ahead and add them to our books. We made the cover in the cover video. And we'll be able to then do the decorating for the cover. And I have to apologize. We've kind of run into a time crunch here, and so I do want to get this done so that everybody has it for the cover especially. But my Craftology Box coordinator is moving to Florida, so I've had to fill in on some tutorials, and I know a lot of you have been waiting and waiting patiently, so I apologize. I'll be able to do a walkthrough on the decorating after I get this done, but we will definitely go through and I'll mount the pages and we'll get the cover put on. So I already pre-cut the first page. I'm using the Bo Bunny double dot vintage that we had used. I used in the other tutorial, and this one's the decaf. I just really love this paper because then you can use both sides and you get such a different look, because one side of course has the polka dots, but still they're quite vintagey with the ink smears. I love that, which is absolutely perfect for the Master Detective. Line everything up once it's down, and I did choose to use it instead of the patterns and solids that come with Master Detective in the 12 by 12, mainly because I liked a little more solid since it has quite a bit of pattern to it. Now for the insides, I already chose some of the leftover pieces, so I did go through and got those picked out. Now I already had inked them with the Primus Chocolate Color Philosophy ink, so you didn't have to sit through that. And I really like the fall colors of this collection. Okay, I'll get the bottom in just a second. I'll go ahead and do the top. And for the back side, I was going to use the back side of the main cut apart sheet, of course. I do need to check a couple of my sizes. Yeah, new. I've got a couple that are longer. I have a score line there, so I wasn't sure on some of these. I didn't want to cut into a new sheet, so I will be putting strips of those border strips during the decorating phase because it is a little short on the bottom, but that's okay. We just add one of the cut aparts on there. Not only does it dress it up, but it'll also cover that short spot. Now for the front would be the flowers. So I cut my papers 1/8 of an inch all the way around, shorter for the border. You can also do more or less, or you can double mat. So you might want to cut your papers, different sizes. So I'm not going to be giving those measurements as we go. Things up, and now I'll do the bottom piece. Now I do not want to work on it upside down, only because I don't want to take the chance of there being a pattern going a certain way, and I'll mess that up. And you know how it is when you start one of these tutorials. If I don't do it from start to finish, so that's why I try not to do them, but I was talked into getting the pages up because they are really fun pages. I've got other projects I want to move on to that are going to be so cool, but we've got to get this one done, I know. See, I want that to go that way. I mean, this page alone, you can get 8 pictures on here. You've got lots of space. And let me see here. Okay, that's the front. This was one of my other, just a little bit short. But I'll be doing the border strip also during the decorating phase. And looks like I'm going to put that one at the top, which is just fine. Optional glue. Now this one too, I knew already that I had ran short, so I already cut a piece. See, that'll fit perfectly at the bottom. Or it can go underneath. Probably what I'll do, it won't matter because then I'll put another strip. There we go. See, and then I'll cut a strip that goes across there. You can even turn that into a pocket if you'd like. Lots and lots of options. Flowers that. I also love the dry diaper wipes because it glides over your paper without sticky fingers. Or, oh, let's see. Actually, we've got some really other cute things I can cut apart for there. So, when I cut words off like that, that's when I layer. So I'll pick some other words or different stickers from the collection that can go there and be matted, and we can do some layering with it. Or see these little cut aparts. If you get one that's big enough, that'll fit over that. Works really great. So then I can just take one of my strips here. I'll cut it, and those are what I'll be adding to my short spots. And this one should be just fine because I made sure this cover piece was the right length. Just go from behind. The reason I went from behind is I don't want to get any glue at the top, or went from the bottom. Go ahead and measure that, get my small cutter out. Remember, we've got it. There we go. edge to edge. So it's 4 inches by 2 inches. What I want to do is put my cut apart in here and make sure I'm happy with where I'm going to be cutting it. And to be honest with you, these skulls might be a perfect, almost perfect fit. Now just, there we go, darken that edge. My brown ink. So we've got quite a bit of color. Now instead of that looking like a piece of paper that was too short, we layered it and now it's perfect. Take a little bit off the edge. Well, don't you hate that? You turn it over and then it's really cool. The whodunit. Yeah, we got to go with this side. Because that is like our opening page of our book. So whodunit, if the clue fits, whodunit. Perfect. And it just goes really well with that green. And of course, there'll be some decorations on there. Got lots of picture room, more picture room, or just a fun book. So turning it over, it opens. I forgot, spin a bit. So I'm going to use the other half of that page. Just kind of keep the page the same, but I'll use this back side instead of the polka dots. Always make sure you remove your tape backing if you've covered those magnets, which I always do, especially if I'm not going to go back and work on it real soon. Tell you what, this Bo Bunny double dot and Authentique Spectrum as fill-in papers are just a dream to work with. Okay, I have the pockets now for the inside cuts. So I'm going to do this. I just may have done this backwards. I did. Plaid's going to go in, and then the spider on is a pocket piece. inside the pocket. I just want to check, double check our fit. Well, I just made a big mess of that because I'm not paying attention here. Let's just, there we go. Get a hold and pull fast. I guess I need to pay attention. Look at the paper as I'm putting it down. It was one of those like delayed reaction feelings, you know? Yeah, that one's a little off, but that's okay. We'll be covering it with tags. Man, I don't know why I did that. So I think it's just kind of that sideways, I guess. Actually, let me put the one that goes inside here first. So you know, your spider's going either way, it looks like. I'm actually going to do it from this side. I'm thinking maybe that side, yeah, I wasn't able to get my fingers here, so I need to do that. Isn't it funny with pockets how we have a certain way? It's like a feeling. You know it's supposed to go in. There we go. And I use both fingers for placement that way. Well, didn't really even notice that before. I do now. Make sure I have blue inside of there. And looks like I need to square that little pocket down a little bit. There we go. And if you use your the tape, the packing tape, like I did, now see your tags will slide beautifully. Let's check this one. Oh yeah, nothing gets stuck. Okay, so my spiders are going up like I wanted, which couldn't have fixed it now if I wanted to. So it's a good thing I have it going the right direction. Okay, and I noticed that mine sits just a little bit crooked, but there we go, easily straightened. So there is page 1, and let me grab page 2. Okay, page 2, I already did, I got all the mats cut, because I know that's kind of boring if you have to sit through that. And I'm going to start with this top. Doesn't even look like I had inked it, but I did. For my pocket. Now with my pockets, I don't ever cut the full length. There's no need in it. Mess them up for the back page. Now for this, I am going to go a little bit upside down. I don't want to mess up putting my red in. And again, this is the vintage double dot in the berry. You know, pockets can be tricky, and today I'm not having a good pocket day. So let's not do it that way. I don't know what's wrong with my coordination this afternoon. But I do know we have a full moon, and I believe it might even be tonight. And contrary to popular belief, I do think it affects some things. Of course, with me, who knows, right? Okay, let's see. Plaid. skeleton. That's the one. I knew I had cut him, so I had his head. Actually, his body goes that way. So I can kind of keep the skeleton together. There we go. I think the red just pops the red biters out. Okay, back side. So those are the fronts. I don't want to mess them out. And I know one ended up being just a little bit shorter on mine because of the way I cut my pocket. So it's this one. Thought I saw that. Didn't quite get any glue there. We'll go to the side so nothing happens to those. So we'll go ahead and start on, let's just glue. Now for my pockets, I'm just going to keep it the red. I love it. I just love the red. Okay, I am turning my pocket, so we already know and have established I have to pay extra attention today with how I place my mats inside the pockets. Yeah, I can tell my kitty has been on my desk. And again, I wanted to keep the skeleton theme, but I didn't want all of it to be skeleton themed. Making sure I'm putting it in the right direction since one, it's not a square. And if you are new to using the art glitter glue, or you haven't even tried it yet, see, I don't worry about it squishing out either. That's why I sell it in my store at Country Craft Creations, because it's not going to leave that messy mark that you'll see with some glues, and you get the shiny appearance on your page. Because they did the formula so that it will dry completely clear, so that your glitter is the only thing that will show. And I'll tell you, this is going to be fun areas where glossy accents is going to be, you can use it to fill in. Those are going to be some great fill-in areas for sure. And I just want to check something. Again, I used the tape on my pockets when we were making them, so everything should slide in and glide in really nice. See that? Look, nothing's getting stuck. Now for the back side, so I chose the front and back of the, what I call a collage sheet. I don't have the name. I should have looked at the piece before I cut it so I could tell you. I really like that. Like the old newspapers, advertisements. Glasses, magnifying glasses will go up. Oh, this one, I go, so let me just trim this one down. I took them out of order. Better remeasure 2.5. Well, that kind of was cool where I cut it. The poison still shows, so that's, I like that. It didn't cut it in half. Okay, so we're going to have tags and maps and different cut parts from the line. I don't like to use a lot of the different, 3 different, because you're going to have a lot going on. So if you want to have your mats and tags out of the cut parts, and you have a lot of different colors on your pockets, I think it kind of gets busy. And so that's why I just kind of stayed with those colors. And what did I do? Oh, for page 1. So there's 1 and 2. Now for page 3, it's the waterfall. And I'm not going to be doing this one on camera, because you're just going to cut your mats 1/8 of an inch smaller width and length of your waterfall. But I am going to use seam binding. I don't think I'll be using the gray, but it's what I have right here, so I just want to show you. I had talked about on the tutorial, so I know there's so many different ways. cut this in half. To be honest with you, I really like doing the closure. I realized this way, but I don't think I like having it all one piece to where you go down and tie it. So I'm going to go ahead and just see. Of course, we'll cut these. I want my one piece. Actually, there's a lot of different ways that this can be done. I'm trying to actually doing, there we go. That's going to look better. Just like you would on your tags. So let me cut this one off and show you what I've done. What'll be nice about doing it this way too, if you're not happy with the color, which I'm not, but I don't want to waste this, so I'm just going to use it for right this moment. Okay, and I really don't like the look of the tied knots with the ends, but I do like that. So now you'll just have to untie the waterfall, and I will go pick a different color. But I do like the seam binding because it's really easy, and I can also crinkle it. So now you just have to untie your waterfall. Where's that? And instead of bringing, I don't like to rethread these. That's the only thing. Love that, so I'll pick a different color. And like I said, I'm not going to even be matting this until it's probably in the book, because I want to use all of my different scraps. Okay, we can start matting the pages. Now on this one, we also had made, this is the back of the waterfall. I didn't get the ribbons back, so I did the same thing here. So I tied two together. I haven't cut them, and I just did them the slip through like I showed on the other page. And I'll be using the bow bunny on the outside here, because then I'll decorate, you know, with the different chipboard elements, sticker sheets, some borders, and really make it so it's not so plain, but I don't want it so busy, because actually I was able to use a cut apart, and it lays really nice. So I left it on the cut apart side. You're going to hear some rumbling probably and roaring, and I hope my camera is not, I need to adjust the camera. Okay, hopefully the camera won't sway back and forth anymore. The grandkids start jumping upstairs, and the camera starts swaying, so we got that taken care of. Anyway, this is the cut apart that I really like. So I'll still, you know, want to put pictures over it, or maybe I don't. I love it. I love the colors. So I was really happy that it fit well. I don't know why you get it so heavy on those corners. Yep, I've got to stop going so heavy on those corners. Okay, now this is our really fun page. I love to play with it. And then again, inside, you'll have a pocket. You'll just want to cut your mats to fit. That will go along there. So I really don't think I will be doing much more decorating inside. So I am going to go ahead and cut my ends. I made the bow extra big for that reason, so I do have still some slack. And I'll do the same with the waterfall that I did here. My pages are just getting buried. Okay, the next one, this one, so this we already had done. So there really wasn't anything to do. Then our pop-up page, so I went ahead and cut what I did. Again, I'll be using the cut apart here. And then I used a cut, just the border strip. There'll be a little space in between. Let me just go around these corners, smooth that out a little bit. It's amazing the small quantity you use with the art glitter glue. So your border strips make really great fill-in pieces. Okay. And for my latch closure, and if you have a large magnet, you might just want to concentrate on that. Just making sure your paper is down. Yeah, it's going crooked just a little bit. Make sure everything comes up good. These pieces that are upside down, I'll see what picture goes there. Either I'll cover it or I'll put a picture. Now, don't forget. Oh, did we not make... Okay, we did not make this one a pocket. For some reason, I thought we did. So now this back piece, I don't have it cut. So I will, this one, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. Again, some papers here. See which ones I'm wanting to use. Really haven't used this one yet, so this is what I'm going to go with. Let me go ahead and get my base piece cut. At the 6 7/8, I cut mine by 8 3/8, and then, excuse me, I'll just use the opposite side for my flaps here, and these are 3 1/2. And I need to remeasure, so I've got 7 1/8. Okay, go with that plot again. I'll probably put that one on the inside. It's a little short though. I was afraid of that. It's just the extras that I had sitting here. And that looks really good. And I'm definitely going to have to cut into another sheet. Okay, so I have, wish I'd cut that, but it's it's okay because I think we're going to go there. Let me see what the next one comes out like. And there we go. We'll put the skeleton on the front, heading up the stairs, and we'll just keep the, I call that subway print going. Need another one. Change those over since I've got the first floor plan there. We're good there. We're good there and there. Now, perfect place for definitely one of our bigger cut aparts, or maybe one of the cards. So I will get this now all put together, and we'll be back and we'll put our pages on the hinges. Okay, grab your cover. We've already done our hinges, and I want to show you what I ended up doing because I thought it turned out kind of cool with that eye. This is the cut apart, not the cut aparts. So it's really worth it with Gravity 45 to definitely get your journaling cards because they're double-sided. Again, you can actually use these through the mail. I've done it. On here, though, you do have to cover up the picture usually, but it still will go through with your address label, and it looks really cute. It did come through a little squish, so I would suggest still putting them on an envelope, but they're great. So I really like the fact that I actually paid attention to placement. So it looks like the eyes watching the skeleton go up the stairs. And I used the back side for both of these. It was the mustache on one and the eyeglasses on the other. So I thought that looked kind of clever. So I've got my pages all in order. So I have, this one's my first. And you don't have to put them in the same order, of course. Magnets are same. This one is our flap with the pockets, then the double ones. And this one will be the pop-up page. Let's see. Yeah, with the waterfall. So the waterfall's on the back side, and I still haven't done it. And I did smooth that out to watch that so it doesn't smash it. Now your hinge, one thing to remember which side way your pages go is because the hinges are open to the right. I know, I'm sorry, to the left. To the left. Don't listen to me. And this is the, am I getting my, okay. Page one. Could have, yeah, that's what I got. This one and then this one. Yep. and this one, and then the pop-up card and the back. So I'm going to start with the back ones. We've already done this part of the cover. I don't like to do the rest of it, this cover, until we get our pages in. We're going to start with the back page. So, hinges to the left. And these are going to be really easy for you to put on. They're a lot less scary because when you put it on, really there's nowhere for it to go, and it's very simple to place it on there. Then we'll be laying it flat. We've already glued the bottoms down. If you did not, you'll want to do that. But that is nothing you can't do, you know, at any time in the construction of your albums. So if you use score tape, you can remove the backing. I just put my finger there to help slide it on because I like to place it on. You know what's really odd? You should have absolutely no trouble getting it on unless you're me. So once it's on there, I lay mine flat. Now when you lay it flat, you're going to see the page will literally push away from your hinge, giving you a little space, because that's what you want. So lay it flat. Make sure you're centered on the page. Let me show you. So when you have it, don't try and put your page on like this and squeeze this so it's attached. If you do, your page is going to pretty much stay that way. You're not going to have it laying flat. And the only reason I'm sitting here playing that something just feels, there you go, like it wasn't wanting to lay down. So you can see now I have a little space here. Oh, I see. And that's what you want because you don't want your flaps. I'm turning this over. I'm going to pushing my page over those hinges. I'm telling these hinges that we're going to be laying as flat as possible. And see, you will have a little, not even just barely an eighth. But now your flaps shouldn't hit anything because see, you've got plenty of room here when you close it. See, my flap's not hitting the edge and getting bent up. I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. And every page should match perfectly because our hinges are an eighth of an inch shorter. Whoops, my cutter went in the garbage, sorry. They are an eighth of an inch shorter than the hinges. That's it. Even so, I like to lay it flat as possible. This one might be a little harder because we have a box. Okay. I'm just checking how things fit. Oh, that is, okay, but I'm still pushing it over. Now I'm gently pushing on that box. I want it still to lay as flat as possible. And this one, no, it's not going to lay perfectly flat because you have a box. And there's just nothing that's going to, you know, stop that or help that. The only other option was if you maybe want to put it at the end or the front. The front probably would be your only option of it not sticking up a little bit, but I wanted it to be more of one of those surprise elements when you get to your pages instead of just being in the front. Yeah, that probably would have been Well, it's still going to stick up. There's just nothing that we can do when you build boxes. I'm just having there we go, trouble seeing because of the way that flap is. And I still have a little gap there, and that's what I want. And I will go ahead and reshape, that little gusset we have there. All right, and page number 1. Now, don't ever, let your page stick up. Don't push it down sticking up, because if you do, you're going to have a page that stands up. So, yeah, make sure you're pushing that hinge over and then over again. So it'll lay nice and flat. It's gonna pop up there a little bit because of our box. And I have some tape that I didn't take care of first. There we go. So let's take a peek here. Now on this type of page too, you don't even have to put a mat in the top if you don't want to. Most people don't even notice. And then these guys will look like their own page. Now it did get a little bulky there, and that was my own doing, because I know when I pushed, I really didn't push. That is our spinner page, and our box, pop-up card, and the back. So like I said, I do see you have that box that takes up a lot of room, but still, all in all, it lays pretty flat. So for the inside, we're going to create, I want to have a flap with mine, but I want more than one flap. Not quite a book, but sort of, if that makes sense, so that, some flip pages. So I'm going to have to get some more brown cardstock, and I'll be right back with the video. Well, it's a good thing I caught that the camera wasn't on. So let me back up here. So I decided to change the inside of the front album. It's actually going to be an easel card, and I had cut this piece. I'm glad I didn't adhere anything down because the camera wasn't on. So I cut this to fit. Your inside cover is now like 6.5 by 9, so just trim it. I did the, let's see, 6 3/8 by 7 7/8. So the easel card. So this is what I've decided, and I actually started making it and realized, oops, I'm not on camera. I did a 5 by 10. The first piece was 5 by 10, and I scored it at 5 inches and 7.5 inches. Okay, and you fold it this way, and you'll make a triangle like so. Your top is 5 by 5. Okay, and we will just match this to this edge. So when it slides down. Now, one thing about our easel card, I do want to make this a pocket. And I turned it the wrong way. Sorry, whoops, because I started to mat. So I matted these inside pieces that are So it's 5 by 5, and I just cut these at 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. So see, it comes up and just bends over like so. Then we'll add here our 5 by 5 here. There will be a magnet on this back side. So it also is totally up to you if you want to mat this piece right here. And the reason I also matted inside here is because it will show. So let me, I had realized I did not cut this piece, which is the 2.5 inches by 5. And it's a good thing because the camera wasn't on. So I'm going to cut my 2.5 by 5 inch piece. And now I'm just kind of looking for scraps, pieces, and parts. See, this we're going to glue 3 sides, stick this down. But this will definitely, this will show. So I do want to have some matting back there. Okay, so I'm putting the cover on the front, and I went ahead, it looks like about 1.5 inches from the top, I added the first magnet, and let's see. Now on this part that is not matted, let's go ahead and add our adhesive. And we'll just match these edge to edge. So you could even, you know, you can continue to mat as many of those as you like, but I think you're going to be pretty good there. So there's that magnet right there. And I should have matted it before I put it on. Oops, that's okay. I'll just now cut it down to fit. One thing I'm trying to decide here. So the magnet is right there. It will, see, it'll grab through. It won't be a super tight fit, which is actually okay because you want to be able to lift it without. I just want to see how well. I'm just looking for something that will hold it. I think that's going to work by putting it on here and when I put it on the base so that I have a placement. Let's go ahead. It would have been easier had I matted it first, but now I'll just cut this down to the 2.5. That's why I had that empty spot. So it'll fit both places. I'm just going to go ahead and since this was going to be the 5 by 5, at least those guys will be, like I said, they're not a really hit you in the face focal point, but they are, and you want it to look finished. Work around that magnet to make sure everything's down. Feels like I have this big old bubble underneath there. So now that's what will hold this shut. I'm going to leave this here for now because we're going to mat it down. And, well, we're not like completely matting. What we're going to do is kind of get our placement basically in the middle. Oh, our neighbors still think it's the 4th of July. Let me close that. Fireworks going out, and I don't know if you'll see the flashes in the screen. You're going to probably hear them. So I'm just making things somewhat centered. There's my magnet. And, oh, come here, honey. My dogs are, I have one. She's scared to death of fireworks, so she just came running in here. Scared to death. You know, they have a law here. It's supposed to be just 3 days before and 3 days after. For some reason, the whole month of July, it just seems to go on and on. And our poor dogs just, they're at the point where they're like, I can't take it no more. Now, when putting this down, see, the magnet grabbed. So that's what we want to watch for. But I want this to become a pocket. So I'm only going to add my adhesive to 3 sides. And again, hover over if you're using the large and it will grab it. Straighten that up. And I guess I did that too soon. Awfully noisy around here tonight. Okay, we won't worry about doing that on the inside. Now, I'll be able to decorate now. We'll have a stopper here, which will be one of the cut-aparts. Not the cut-apart, sorry. And I should have my, goodness, my, I don't have any out. Well, okay, what I'll be doing is getting those for when I decorate. So anyway, I like to use the tags and pockets. Not the tags and pockets, the chipboard elements. Okay, so I went and got one of the chipboards. And you only have the journalings with this one. And actually, I'll be putting a bead right there. So just find out where you want your card, you know, to pick up to. You can put it high. If you want it to stand up more straight when your book is open, or a little bit at an angle. And to me, that looks good at an angle. Now, before I put this down, center. So when your book's there, you can actually have a photograph. You can add I cut apart, and then when it closes, you can make a little pocket across here, and actually I think that's what I will end up doing. Just a border strip from, I have the 8x8s also. Here we go. So for this one, looks like, yeah, I'll probably do my postage stamps, make a pocket that I can just set pictures in, and that way I don't have to really adhere it to the front. And then we have a pocket in the back. Isn't that cool? So that's the inside cover. And I really like taking cards and doing that. It just adds a lot of personality. So for the back album, the back cover, so we could do actually the same thing. Why don't we go ahead? I think I'll repeat also with the easel card on the back side, so I won't repeat that on camera, so we can get started on the front cover. Okay, we are going to start on the cover. And the first thing we're going to do, so I'll be doing this on cover. So what I did is I cut this from, you know, the main sheet. So I cut this edge off. Then I put it in and I went 6.5. I had cut a little bit off, turned it, and then cut my 9-inch length so that I did get this part of the picture. I wanted to actually have this on top. So let me kind of show you if you've never used the Prima Dome. When I did the St. Nicholas album, when Graphic 45 came out this last year. So what you have to have this base piece underneath. See the gold and black stuff, and it kind of, the ribbon gets smushed. And then you have this little square, which I had cut, but I'm going to reverse it. On Master Detective, this little square is going to be underneath because you want to see how the black shows through. You need to have something. Now, if you don't have the die, you don't, of course, have to do this. You can glue your dome directly on top, and I'll show you that too. And this tutorial is on my YouTube, so. But I don't show the dome part. So here's what we're going to do. And I can't guarantee this will work. We may end up doing something different, but I doubt it. So I cut a bottom piece at 6x8. So it will be back here. Don't know the exact placement yet, so we're not putting anything down. We are going to cut with the die the hole. Now, if you don't have a die cut or to go with your dome, or you're using something else, maybe just a shaker, you don't need this bottom piece. And you can just take your dome. I use E6000 and I put it down where you want it. Now mine's going to go somewhat here. There'll be beading in there, and I'll show you all that. So, and some glitter. So when you shake it around, you know, it'll look really cool. But you just glue it down, and then you're going to want to do lace, beads, or something on this edge to cover it up and hide it, which you can do. If you're really good and can cut a hole just the diameter here for it to pop through, and you don't have a die, it's a 6-inch circle die, basically. So, you know, pop through there. Hope that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is just kind of place, ignore this, it doesn't cut. Why they did that, I don't know. It must have been something they had to do. Just basically eyeballing where I want this to cut. And I'm going to use my cut and boss. So it'll be kind of noisy, but we'll just do everything. And put my magnetic down. This can be the tricky part. Eyeball. I just want to keep it somewhat centered. Grab some washi tape here. could just then turn it over. So skinny, it's kind of hard to, it's going to cut, but at least it'll hold it in place for me flipping it over. Gentle. My plates are well used, except for I had to get a new one because I cut right through that one accidentally. All right, let's cut this and see what happens. Truth be told, I usually mess something up, so let's see what happens here. And that's a really cool circle. So hold on to that. Place under my machine. Okay, let's see what all we have here. And I'm sorry, everything just, you know, when you're working on a project, sometimes I swear it's just to see how big of a mess I can make in my craft room because it's a mess. Okay, very gently with washi tape when it comes to your graphic 45 paper. That's the thing that it got squished inside the machine, so it made it stick really, really well. There we go. And I do think I have more of the dies in stock. And then we have more coming. But we do have more in stock. Now see, that's how they show where they put the ribbon on the picture on the outside. Okay, and then what happens here, so see, that will become the back. So it's going to go towards the top. And I still, you know, I will, that's what I was afraid of. I didn't leave enough at the top. See how my dome's sticking up? Yeah, so I'm going to have to actually recut this. So that does give you the idea then how that's going to work. So I do have to recut this. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut another sheet. I didn't allow for this ½ inch. It's more, yeah, it's about a ½ inch. I should have brought it down more. And I'll do that off camera so you don't have to go through that. And I'll be right back. Okay, I just cut it correctly. So you can see the dome will now, that will sit on top. Magnifying glasses in the back, nothing's glued. I took the the Master Dectective chipboard piece. And I actually want to kind of angle stand this up. So I'm just taking a bigger Tim Holtz scissors and a piece of chipboard. Nothing, you know, too scientific. Now I'm just going to push down, bend this in half. Kind of like we made the easel card. We're going to now make this into an easel so it sits up under our dome. Now, this is only like, okay, it's 3/4 of an inch, just so it fits. Don't worry about making it super perfect. You can cover the back. Nobody will really see it. Because actually, it'll be just fine. So it just looks like a little sign. Let me make sure my hot glue, yeah, you're going to probably want to make sure your hot glue gun is plugged in. And I don't know about you, but I'm really, really liking this album. It's going to be a really fun piece. Okay, now for this, I know the art glue will do just fine while that's doing its thing. So I want to show you a couple of things I'm going to be using. I'm actually looking at doing a chain wrap around clasp. So everything of this stuff, I just went up to Joann's, so it's close, since I don't sell it. Same with, they are called seed beads. Now, these poor things actually were in the package and ended up in the washing machine because my husband grabbed my bag and all this stuff. But they're just the seed beads, so they're tiny. I didn't want like glitter or sequins. They're just not, you know, they're pretty. We want something a little more rugged here. And these are super, super tiny. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I need to actually form out here because, they actually did get a little damp. So I'm going to have to take my heat gun to them. I picked these up at IKEA. They're actually over by the plants, and they're broken up mirrors. Okay. They're fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Or you can get them also in you can get them in craft stores. They're just a broken bead glass. You can break glass. You can put it in something shatterproof. Just go out and beat it with a hammer. I've done that before. So I'm just going to kind of move everything, lift everything up, and do watch with that seed glass though. It is sharp. So don't have any bare feet or little feet like running around. And let's go ahead now and let's get our inking done. Some glue. And that's my pink one. Okay. Let me just get a new dauber color. I'm sorry. I usually try to get everything ready, and I just came down and jumped in and forgot to get everything out so you didn't have to sit through it. All right, so I'm going to re-ink. I'm going to ink these edges. Now, if you have a 6-inch round Sizzix or any other die, or you can cut it with your Silhouette, Cameo, Cricut, down and cut, you could cut a 6-inch hole. Or you can just lay it right on top, but make sure you E6000. So you're going to probably want to do it and let it dry for a few hours. Inside there, get rid of those white edges. Now don't worry about your back piece because it's really not going to be seen. Then this is the dome. This dome, what we'll do is we're going to put this down first. We need to go ahead and adhere this down. And I believe I did last time just use my art glue. There we go, thick piece there. I still will go around the edge. Here I have some black string beads, and they came perfect time. They were just delivered to the store yesterday. So we do want to let that dry, and it will dry. I hold my dome down. One finger, the paper on the other. See, I am squishing, the glue's coming out, and it's okay. It's going to dry clear, and like I said, we're going to then glue the edge. I've got black beads by the strand, and I am wanting to smear that glue about. So do want to just set this aside. I don't want to mess that up. I'm going to grab this piece, and I already know it has to be more towards the top because I have more on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this down, centering it in the center, and either side will look good. Now on the center, I'm going to add a little extra, so I'm taking some shorter marks there. Oh, forgot to turn the phone off. So let's do that. Remember, take this to the top, because that's where you put your dome. That's where I put mine. Drop to my large spatula, so I'll use my small one. Run to Harbor Freight. These are the best little spatulas. Okay, I am going to, you want this to dry. I know art glitter glue dries fast. We want the dome to dry, so I shall return. Okay, what I've done, I took some of the glass beads, dumped them in there. I'm going to put the lid on so I don't have any spills. Then I took the bags of those seed beads, dumped them in together, and then I added just a little bit of the black sand from the blue fern that we sell, embossing powder, because you can see the different colors, just to make that little bit, help make it a little dirty on the bottom. So I have a little residue in there, like metal shards. Kind of mix that together. Then I found in my, you know, we all have these little loose pieces everywhere of different metal embellishments that are going to go on the inside. I have a phone that's just acting crazy today. So I mixed them all together. Now we're going to set that aside because we want to grab our cover. And you should still be able to lay your cover flat. Oh. I want to show you one other thing you can do. So if you want, you can always take that circle and put that back behind there if you like. I want the looking glasses there. And there's, you know, 1,000,001 ways to do this. Everybody will have their own way. And one thing, this is one of the Prima, it's not Prima, Gravik 45. It's just the doorknob. I took it off because I don't know if it's going to be used in here, but I just brought it out just in case. So what you want to do now is we just want to get a basic look as to where our dome is going to go. This should now be dry. All right, you may have to bend that back. Quite a bit. What I'm going to do is make sure, yeah, that it will stand up in there. going to help determine the placement of everything. And gently set that on top. Sorry, this, I just want to make sure it's where I want it. So take your time, because once this is down, all right. Now we're just going to hold that for a minute. Hold it down. Now I'm going to take, these are our new, and so they're on the website now. They're the 3D dots, but these are, look at this, 1/2 of an inch. These are super, super thick, because I want to make sure, I took one, that this little sign now is going to stay where I put it. So even though I'm not taking that top sticky piece off, because I need to glue it on the side, and I wanted to glue, so I'm going to now glue it just with my art glue. And we have to let that set for a minute. So see, it's a 1/2 inch dot, fabulous for things like this. And you may not, at this point you're like, I just don't like the way that looks in the back. So if you don't like it, you can actually take some black netting or something and bunch it up there. You might want to add a couple of small flowers. Let me see, so that you can hide that. And the more I talk, the more it sounds like a good idea. Let me just take a peek in here, though, of what we've got. I love these older blue fern. So you might want to go ahead and if you just want to cover that up somewhat in the back, even though it won't be seen, it might make you feel better. Or leaves or metal embellishments. Oops. Just shoot a little hot glue down there. Just pushing it all together so we have a good hold. Let me get rid of these glue gun strings. That gets rid of them really great. So now you can just lay down, if you're using any metal embellishment pieces, don't worry about them overlapping. They're going to move around, so don't forget. So basically, in this little vicinity is where you're going to establish the perimeter, and things will move. Now, if you don't want them to move, then what you're going to want to do it's just put down a little hot glue. Otherwise, when your book's up, they will all move. There's nothing you can do. So just shoot them down with some hot glue or E6000, whatever you like to use. Now I'm going to secure those two pieces. Again, I want to check my perimeter. Make sure we're all within that circle. Then what you can do, after you get everything mixed together, you're just going to start piling it. And to be honest with you, this is the only way I know to do this, because you can't put it inside the dome and then turn your dome upside down. That again, remember, it's not going to stay in our nice little pile. Your little seed beads love to travel. You can put a little, you can put a lot. So I think that's probably my limit there. Then just get everything scooped. As close in as you can, because you don't want anything to get in the way of the glue. So let's go ahead. You want to, rub your paintbrush if you're going to use it. Like I use my paintbrush for a lot of cleaning. Rub a dryer sheet over the top of it. Which we're at that point that I need a new one on there. Let's see. A dryer sheet will help keep the static. And I just keep a box. I bought a box at the Dollar Tree, and I just keep them here for different projects like dicing. When you rub it on there, it really does help with the static. Okay. Now, because I used a fine glitter, I'm going to clean up the area because I want a good stick. That will do it. Check my dome. Okay. I'm ready. First, I am going to put down my art glue all around here. Then I'm going to put down hot glue. I don't want to use score tape on this, and I'll tell you why. I don't want any of the fine glitter getting caught and stuck on the score tape, and then my paper won't go down. The thing with art glitter glue, it was designed to be used with glitter and products like this, chunky glitter, because it also dries clear and it's going to lie flat. And you're going to have to work fast. So I'm going to take some hot glue on the up edge of my dome. You could use your art glue. I'm going to use my hot glue. And I have to work quickly, because once it's down, it's going to be down. Now the art glitter glue gives me some time to go back, so just concentrate on the dome. If you did just use hot glue, do the dome part first. And let's go back now and clean up our glue. Now see, it's going to be raised here because that's your dome. So that's what you're supposed to have here. Don't get excited and pick this up wanting to see it, because this part is kind of crucial that we allow the drying process to take hold. You don't want all those beads running down where the glue is not quite attached. You need a full cover. Now go along with your foam folder, gently but firmly on those edges. Let's get everything down. You will have what feels like some pockets because the dome's there. So just get as close as possible and get that down. Smear that glue around. You don't want to poke a hole, so please be gentle. Now, so you can play with your dome. Isn't that cool? I love how it gets stuck up there in the flowers. And then see, it looks like the glitter now. See how it's sticking to the paper on its own because of the static? Isn't that pretty? Actually sparkles. And kids especially are going to love to play with those keys. One thing that I have that's really fun, she sent it to me, and it's a spare parts, and I did go looking for some, and I've looked for some to order in the store, but no luck, is this magnifying glass. And it has to become a part. This was from Cheryl Wells, and I thought it was so awesome. And let's see what we can do now with the chain. As a closure. This isn't set in stone because I'm not even sure what kind of closure, if any, that I'm looking for. Just know chain will look fabulous. I'm just going to take the whole thing off. Let's see what we can do here. Down underneath. And that is what I purchased the clasp for. And they come in the two different colors. And what we'll do is we'll take the ring off. So I know I do want to go ahead and double the chain. And we have to have the ring on one end and this on the other. Actually, this was made to go here. So what I'm going to do, because I want to use this as a closure, room here. Let's get the right tools. Okay. So I'm going to actually use the ring from here. These are really easy to purchase. And we're going to, and they're pretty tight. I mean, this is some rugged. These are some rugged rings. Two pair of mine. Should I grab two pair? Wow. No, you did not see me use my teeth. Okay. Just gonna lift this up because this wire is really easy to cut. The wire is not the ring, let me tell you. Just need the other pair of wire cutters. There we go. Close that ring up. Okay, I don't know how I hit the turn off, but basically this is not so much attached. I'm going to put I'll show you, we'll make it so it is through a hook back here so it doesn't completely fall off. But the nice thing is you'll be able to also put it anywhere you want because you've got the chain. I'll show you. I hope I'll show you. I hope we're not just, I'm not just screwing this up here. These are my button ones I love. Okay, now I've got tons of chain for another project. And there are 1,000,001 ways to do this. So please, if you've got an easier way, absolutely. This is just kind of experimenting, seeing what I want to do. And the only reason I'm really using this is to bring my two pieces together because I want the double chain. And the chain is more for looks than anything because the book will stay close. Okay, now my chain is doubled. And now I forgot to put this little guy on. So, but at least I've now shown you the part you came for, and that was the cover. And the rest is just going to be putting our decorations on after I get this done. So that's the nice thing about videos. You get to fast forward. If this is driving you crazy. Okay. So now we have our clasp on there. And actually, like I said, this is there because I want to make sure it's together. We can hang something from it. But now you can open your end here and it will fit right through your chains. But you do, yeah, one thing, this can go anywhere. Sorry, I know I'm kind of out of camera, but I can't see. There we go. You bring this up higher, and I'll show you in just a moment. This is one tight clasp, so these are really good, well worth it clasps. All right. So, want to hang somewhat like that. So if you get the idea. So which means in the back here, and I'll have to bring things a little more together. So that I will have to play with. And the nice thing is you're going to be able to wrap this wherever you like it. But I want to make a hole here, possibly with a ring that I can attach this chain up into. So I bought tons of the extras of those. And so, yeah, just start going through your stash, seeing what you have, such as different hooks, different, things that you can maybe attach here and play with. And then we'll get to covering the back of our book. Okay, I'll be taking this off, but I want to show you what I did. I had this bird clip, just a paper clip. And I basically just brought the chain in through. And it'll slide right off the top. And basically it's going to be the holder. So one went in the feet, one went in the tail. Another alternative that I was thinking would work really well is this Christmas ornament clip. These Christmas ornament clips are fabulous. You can get them at Hobby Lobby. You turn it, or Joann's, and you can turn it into whatever you need or want it to be. Clasp that down. Now you can even E6000 that, and it will stay here and on the top, or you can make a hole. You can punch your hole with your crocodile. So these are great. I always pick these up, especially when they go on clearance. They're so awesome to have. And you can also attach your chain permanently if you like. And I've just been playing with this. I'm really loving it, especially when that camera comes through. It almost looks like an eyeball. Now, the beauty about doing your albums this way is that, see how you can now work on a flat surface? Because you need that flat surface. And that's what I'm going to use for the back. And it's funny, my Prima inks, they are magnetized. So see, they just pick up. Well, the chains are all stuck to it all over the place because it's magnetized. I have chains hanging over my ink pads over by the wall. So all inked up. Now for the spine, I chose the opposite side with all those wordings. And then I have the black beads. And then I will be choosing definitely either some flowers or we'll be fussy cutting. Got to have flowers on any G45 papers. Flowers go with everything. See, I'm going to have beads flying. Thank goodness for shop vacuums. I'm going to have to really go over my room. And I don't know, this album has just been so much fun to make. It's been fun to really incorporate different like card designs, such as our easel card and things like that into this. Now tonight, when I go to bed, because I always do this before I go to bed if I'm going to do any last minute, I will go through and glossy accent. Like I usually pick a prominent one, either all the thumbprints or just the couple of the water inspector, whatever his name was, Mr. Master Detective, or I'll go through the words. We'll see. I will glossy accent those. And then when I wake up in the morning, everything's dry, nothing has been touched. My kitty will not come down here when I'm not here. Now for this, spine piece will go right there. And actually, I'll glue it, but I do this out of camera because I actually put this between my knees, hold my album at an angle, and of course you don't want to see that on camera. And so I pull my chair back, and I'm just going to put it between my knees. Make sure it's going the correct direction. Because we really can't lay that flat, so I'm kind of stuck there. Open your cover a little if you need to get that flat. Want every edge down. Yeah, I didn't get last night when I was filming, I was getting everything so close to the edge, and now I'm not getting close enough to the edges. Now, let's see. Let me grab these black beads. Now, we do have these in stock. I was just out recording, and the whole roll just fell apart. So these are black. And definitely don't want, we don't want a, you know, a real pretty pearly, of course. Also, I start and I end my beads. Start and end them where I know I'm going to be able to place like my florals. And things like that. So if you're going to do your florals more towards the top down here, you might want to, you know, start and end up there. Just make sure it's somewhere where your florals will be. Now this can be a little bit of a process. These do not come with any sticky backs on them. So it will just take patience. So I'll go ahead and get mine on. And since we'll be, I have to do a lot of holding, I won't hold through the camera on that. The beads, now I've got those around the dome. I wanted lace. I wanted something, but I don't want frilly lace. This is we sell this in the store, and I use it for the corset bindings on albums. And I'm going to use this one. It's just enough to give it the texture without it being frilly. But it does need something on this edge. And then I'm going to put the black pearls on top. So I cut it. You have to cut it at an angle, and you always do have this like little knot. That's why I'm going to put the pearls on top. And I am going to go with the hot glue. Make sure we get all the strings off after with our heat dryer. Because even in this one, I use the no mess glue sticks, but it gets so hot, you can't really do anything about the strings. So pull it. But your heat gun will help get rid of all that. And I'll do that at the end because it's going to be messy. There's nothing we can do. Just be really neat about it if we can. And I'm kind of getting my beads tangled because it's such a long string. Use them off the roll instead of just cutting them. So now, and the thing is I've got that messy glue there, so this is going to cover it up just nice. Whoa. Let's move things so I don't accidentally, there we go, turn off my video. We always start with just a couple. Make sure it's down. Oh, wow, I'm just not coordinated today, and we talked about this last night. I do believe, I think there is a full moon, and I think it's playing with me. It's always a joke. I know it's not real. It's just, I tell my husband that when I'm acting up. It's a full moon. So I'll have to go back. I've got some messy glue spots that will have to be cleaned up. I don't like that. And with my heat gun, I'll be able to do that. And embellishments. Embellishments are the best for hiding everything. And one thing I like about using these beads on the strand, I can kind of pull them because that string there, to stretch them to fit where I need it to fit, you have a little bit of give. Now, one thing I'm trying to, decide is I am going to go, I believe, the perimeter. Yes. I'm going to add it to the top. I'm going to go all around. And then we'll be able to add some gorgeous things, whatever we decide. I like to do the two, and then I'll intersect it in the middle. That way, it looks like it's, oh, wow. It's going to be a really fun job for my husband. He untangles the beads and things when they come in. He's going to have to untangle these now that the whole roll came totally apart for some reason. He's good at that. I am just touching the paper and lightly smearing it back and forth. And I found that helps keep that big, clump. And then when you push your beads down, you'll end up with it squishing. So it sort of helps. Most of the time it does. See, now this one will just go in the middle. And I can cut it. Oh, I got those off up there. blue. Oh, I got that way off. There we go. Put my eraser on that one. Well, I know where we're going to be putting some embellishments for sure, but it's not bad. There we go. Okay, I'm going to leave that. These aren't the flowers. I mean, I probably will incorporate some of these in, but see, now we definitely have a spot there where I got a little off on my beading that I'm going to need to definitely fix that. And I had grabbed in all my stash of stuff, when I brought it out, I had it laying here with my corners. And I don't know, I should have put these down first, but not always. I mean, still. So I like those two there. And I think, yeah, there's 6 because there's 6 in a package. I bamped mine pretty good for some reason when I stepped on them. I wanted to see if I could get these guys to, yes, we can come together. And these I will E6000 down, so they'll be on the top of my spine and on the bottom of my spine. So those will go on. Again, though, I'm going to E6000, and I'll only put 2 here on the front. Because I want to have them also on the spine, and I don't know if I think that might be too much, but they definitely do look good here too, don't they? I've got some smaller ones I think I'll put on the spine. So there is your Master Detective mini album in a nutshell. The rest of it, I'll, finish decorating mine off camera because it takes me so many different things I have to go try out. Do I want a handle? Do I want this? Things like that. And yes, that handle probably will be down there. And our looking glass. And I have such a mess that before I can even decorate, I do like to clean up. And then I move on. So the one thing with this, I love this, but I don't want to do the placement of it until I know, what kind of flowers now I'm going to use. And, and so that I need to establish. And now I can go ahead and hook our chain. And the reason I want my chain up, put this around the side. The reason I do want it up, what's happened here? Is you want to decorate kind of around it. You don't want it to come on top of any flowers or anything like that. So next time I do a video on this, I will be doing the walkthrough, and I'm looking forward to seeing yours. So be sure to post them in our, see, I've got a tangled chain, on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, and show off your Master Detective album, even if you didn't use your Master Detective paper. So thank you again for watching and waiting as I got the tutorial done, and there'll be a new one up pretty soon using the Authentique Beginnings Baby paper. Thank you, everybody, and have fun with your cover.